And of course, both of them also winning the Longines Prize for Precision. Today, the recurve bow is center stage, as we've mentioned already. If you're watching for the first time, here's basically how the game is played. In the recurve competition, they employ the set system, and that means in each match, each archer shoots 3 arrows per set at a distance of 70 meters. You win the set, you get 2 points. If the 2 archers shoot the same score and tie in that set, then they'll each get 1 point. The first one to pile up 6 points wins the match. However, in case of a tie, there will be a single arrow shoot-off, and closest to the center wins the match. All right, set to go here in Istanbul, our first match of the day, and that's a good look at Berangere Schuh of France. Berangere Schuh, 27 years old, comes in as the number 7 seed, and she is ranked 6th in the world standings. Her opponent this morning, the second-seeded Han Gyeonghee of Korea, 19 years old, also ranked 2nd in the world. So a terrific match right here to start things off in Istanbul on a Sunday morning. I know it's the middle of the night back home in the United States. 3 o'clock on the East Coast, 3 a.m. So if you're up late with us, put another pot of coffee on and stay with us. We've got a lot of ground to cover in the next several hours. This is a step-ladder format. We've got the quarterfinals this morning, and then this afternoon we'll have the semifinals and move on to the gold medal matches. Here in Istanbul, where it is a tremendous setting, here on the grounds of the Küçüksu Palace, which, as I mentioned, is on the Asian shores of the Bosphorus Strait, which feeds into the Sea of Marmara and then out into the Mediterranean Sea. Surrounded by water on almost all sides here in Turkey, a land which is about the size of Texas, if you want to compare land mass. Tom Dillon joining us there on the broadcast this morning. And Tom, it is a pleasure to have you along with us as we get set for another great day of competition here. We saw the Americans dominate yesterday. That won't exactly be the case today.
Well, we'll see what happens. We have some top Americans shooting in the men's event. In the women's, they didn't qualify, but in the men's, we'll see what they do, because Brady Ellison for sure is the favorite.
Yes, Brady Ellison is the favorite amongst the men. In the women's side, of the 8 archers, 7 come from 7 different countries.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens there. The first match already will give us an indication, because Berangere Schuh for France is definitely shooting well, but she's facing one of the 2 Koreans, and we'll give a good indication of what's going to happen in the women's event.
So it should be an interesting morning. The wind a little bit more brisk this morning than it was yesterday at the start of the competition.
Yeah, and we'll see with the recurves, but that could have an effect, because especially the women, their poundage is much lower than for a compound bow we saw yesterday. So the speed of the arrow is around 200 kilometers an hour, whereas for a compound it's close to 300. So wind has a bigger effect on the arrow flight.
And the trajectory of the arrow is different as well, more arc.
Absolutely.
So we get set for the competition here on this beautiful site in Istanbul, Turkey, on a beautiful Sunday morning. 70 meters, and it is difficult, Tom, I think, for people watching at home to really grasp just how far that target is away from the start line.
Oh yes, it looks very big when you are standing just in front of it, but from 70 meters it is a small target.
And they're trying to hit the target that's about the size of a DVD disc.
That's it.
You walk up to the target, you look at that, and you look back at that starting line, and you're glad that these are the folks who are actually going to be shooting with the recurve bows this morning. Once again, our first match featuring 7th-seeded Berangere Schuh of France and 2nd-seeded Han Gyeonghee of Korea. The winner of this match will face Deepika Kumari of India or Alejandra Valencia of Mexico. Well, there's the horn, bringing our archers up to the start line. And we are about 1 minute away from the start of the competition here today. Of course, a tremendous day yesterday. Some wonderful matches and a lot of, I guess, what you would consider upsets, at least on paper, Tom.
Well, the first match of the day yesterday, there was an upset. The Iranian beating Longo from Italy, that was definitely an upset. It was a shoot-off. It was a very close match, but that was definitely an upset. I would say the end result, the men 1 and 2 were basically the first highest ranked archers, so there was not so much upset there. But in the women compound, Loginova, the defending World Cup champion, being eliminated first round, that was definitely an upset.
That was definitely an upset, as Albina Longanova went out in the first round. Well, we'll see what happens here in the recurve competition as the Korean archer Han Gyeonghee gets set with the first arrow of the day, and it's right on target.
Well, you can't start better than that.
So a 10 for Gyeonghee to start the day. And that immediately puts the pressure on Berangere Schuh,
who answers with a 10 as well. Berangere had a difficult season this year. She had an injury and she had to come back from that, so it was a difficult season for her.
Did well in Shanghai and is doing well here in Istanbul.
Yeah, can't do better than that.
So a pair of 10s for Berangere Schuh to start the first set, and another 9. So 10 and 2 9s for Han Gyeonghee.
Well, that does it. We saw that Han on the second shot was to the left, and then she tried to correct it, and then ended up with the third one on the right.
So a good adjustment by Berangere Schuh, and a good match underway to start the competition here in Istanbul on a Sunday morning. Glad you're with us here on ESPN3, where we will have the semifinals and the finals coming up this afternoon. Step ladder format once again, as it's single elimination.
Yeah, there's no second chance. Okay, in the recurves we have a set play, so you can come back from a bad arrow. Sets give that possibility, but it's only 3 arrows at the silent set, so you have to be on it on every arrow.
15 arrows per match for each archer. Possibility of 5 sets. First set goes to Berangere Schuh, who takes a 2-0 lead. They will count that as 10 as it was on the line. And Berangere Schuh, high 8. Off to the right, Tom.
Well, we saw yesterday a lot of high and low arrows. The wind was coming yesterday from the back, and that's another 10 for Han.
So Han Gyeonghee starting to rise to the occasion, and 2 8s.
Well, that goes the second set, so we're going to go to a tight match.
So the second set does go to Han Gyeonghee, as Gyeonghee wins this one.
Let's see if she will correct her side or starts to aim off on the other side, Berangere, because it's clear that she's moving her side now, so that we'll see what happens on the next shot.
It is a mind game. It's also a game of adjustments, and it's an adjustment from maybe each shot to the next shot.
Exactly. It's important to realize when you shoot if it's, I would say, a technical mistake or if it's the wind affecting. So you have to know very well if you shot well the arrow or not, and then make the adjustment. And then you have to get the mind clear, because otherwise, if you start thinking too much about mistakes or aiming off and so on, then you really get in trouble.
The beauty of this set system is, even though Berangere shot a pair of 8s in that last set, it only cost her those 2 points.
Exactly.
So she is still very much in the match. The match is tied at 2 points apiece. As we go to the third set, Han Gyeonghee ranks 2nd in the world with a 9 to start things off. Now Berangere Schuh, who was ranked 11th in the world going into stage 4, but that silver medal vaulted her up to 6th in the standings, but wide to the left.
Yes, he definitely tried to correct on that shot, but a little bit too much.
Second shot.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a wild shot, but still a 9.
The wind dying down just a little bit right now, and Berangere Schuh taking advantage of that. But she trails in this third set.
Ooh, very wild shot there. 5. So Berangere Schuh can definitely clinch the second set with this one.
A golden opportunity for the Frenchwoman. 27 years old.
Good shot. Yeah, 10.
So after the 5 by Han Gyeonghee, that opened the door for Berangere Schuh, and Berangere Schuh finishes that set with a 10. She went 7, 9, and 10, and was able to win the set and take a 4-2 lead in the match right now. So the French woman, 27 years old, a 7th seed, taking on the number 2 seed Han Gyeonghee, and in a position to pull off the upset if she can win this next set.
Berangere Schuh is not an unknown person either. She won the European Championships. She's been a world indoor champion, so she has quite some medals on her account as well.
I think everybody who reaches this level, Tom, is a world-class competitor.
Definitely, definitely. Only the best get to the final.
We are seeing the best in the world here in Istanbul at the World Cup Finals. Fabulous event put together by the World Archery Federation as we get set for the 4th set. Han Gyeonghee with pressure on her.
Again on the right was also where the 5 was shot. Also a very wide shot. A 5 as well for Berangere. The wind definitely is the factor this morning.
Yesterday morning it was rather calm, at least at the start of the day. That was not the case today, and we're seeing it reflected in the scores. So an 8 on the second shot by Gyeonghee.
Oh, again, and she's to the left. Both arrows on the left, so it's amazing. But the wind is now definitely blowing towards the Bosphorus. And again, the wide shot.
A 5, I believe.
Yeah, another 5.
Another 5. 7, 8, and 5 in that set.
Actually,
for Han Gyeonghee.
Oh, she ties it with a 10. Perfect.
Oh, what a shot. So all of a sudden, the 2 5s she shot with her first 2 arrows,
amazing.
They're forgotten, aren't they?
Definitely.
And
well,
again,
I can't believe it. She was sure she had it.
It illustrates how well this set system really does operate. There's Berangere Schuh shooting 2 5s, and looks as though she's down and she's out of this set, but right. Shoots the 10 and comes back.
And definitely, Berangere can't believe it either. She's touching her head. But that's the game.
That is the game. So they split the points in that set. Each receives 1 point, and so the match score now is 5-3 in favor of Berangere Schuh, who can win this.
Yeah, she just has to tie on this one as well. So
yes.
Han absolutely has to win this one. So she's under pressure. She starts off the set, but she's under pressure.
1 more point for Berangere Schuh, and she will advance to the semifinals. Of course, Han Gyeonghee still with an opportunity to come back and win. And 8.
Another 10. Well, she's in the groove.
Seems to have found that groove as you see the pleasure boats going by in the background. And now Gyeonghee dialing in a little bit better.
6, I think. Could be a 7.
They'll put an asterisk by it.
That's a 10.
Right on the line.
27. If it is a 7, she has a 10 to tie and win the match. So let's see what happens. It is a 10, so now the judges will see if that arrow is touching. If it does, she wins the match. If it isn't, we'll go for a 1 arrow shoot-off.
So a little bit of drama to start the day here, Tom.
Definitely, like yesterday morning.
Yes. It's a good way to start the day here in Istanbul. Another beautiful day in Istanbul. A fabulous city and a fabulous setting for a tremendous event. And now we await the judges' decision. It'll all come down to that as they look very carefully at the target down at the other end. Of course, Ms. Han's coach also surveying the situation.
Well, we know Hannah's 27. The question is, well, it becomes a 7. So Berangere Schuh creates the first upset of the day.
So Berangere Schuh gets the 7 with that second arrow of the 5th set, and she picks up the 2 points. Or actually, they tie at 27 apiece in this set, so they'll split the points, but all
That's
she
enough.
needed
She
was
has
one
6.
more.
Yeah.
She got to 6 points first, and she is the winner. So Berangere Schuh comes away with a 6-4 victory in the set system here in the first women's quarterfinal match in the recurve competition of the World Cup Finals here in Istanbul. And of course, Han Gyeonghee disappointed. She came in as the second seed in this World Cup Finals, also ranked second in the world, but she falls to Berangere Schuh, who did come on strong, winning a pair of shoot-offs in Shanghai to reach the gold medal match, where she ran into Ina Stepanova. Stepanova coming from behind to beat Ms. Schuh.